What's up YouTube, Saf here on SuperSaf TV, and this is the much awaited full hands-on comparison between the Samsung Galaxy Note 4 and the iPhone 6 Plus. And now there's been lots of demand for this video on the channel, and what's interesting is that up until now Apple have always criticized larger screen smartphones, and they took a bit of a turn and they finally given in to market pressure and given us the iPhone 6 Plus with a 5.5-inch screen. But how does this compare to the king of phablets, which is the Samsung Galaxy Note 4 at the moment? Well, do hit that thumbs up button and let's find out in this full hands-on comparison. So let's kick off with the size difference. Now, both of these are large devices, but there is a little difference in terms of size. The Note 4 comes in shorter, it's 4.6mm shorter compared to the iPhone 6 Plus, but the iPhone 6 Plus is 0.8mm smaller in terms of the width, and it's also 1.4mm thinner, so it's a very, very thin device. Now what's impressive is that despite being smaller in terms of the height and ever so slightly wider, the Note 4 actually has a larger screen size. You've got a 5.7-inch screen compared to the 5.5-inch screen on the iPhone 6 Plus. Now in terms of resolution, the iPhone 6 Plus has a full 1080p display, so that's 1920 by 1080, and that works out to roughly about 401 ppi pixel density. The Samsung Galaxy Note 4 has a Quad HD display, so that's 2560 by 1440, and that's 515 ppi pixel density. Now overall, both of these are absolutely great screens with some great viewing angles and some excellent color reproduction. The Note 4 does get the edge here in terms of resolution, but it's not hugely noticeable unless you bring the devices up very close. Generally speaking, I think you're going to be happy with both of these displays. They are absolutely great and some of the best out there at the moment. Now both of these are very similar in terms of the weight. There's just 4 grams between them. The Note 4 coming in 4 grams heavier compared to the iPhone 6 Plus. And I would say both of these also have a premium build. The iPhone 6 Plus has a metal unibody and it's got a curved back this time compared to the chamfered edges that you had with the iPhone 5 and 5S. It does look and feel premium in my opinion, but I did find it to be quite slippy, and I had to use the iPhone 6 Plus with a case because at this size and with that smooth surface, it can sometimes feel like it's just going to slip out of your hand. Now with the Samsung Galaxy Note 4, they have finally ditched the full plastic build, and you now have a metal frame with chamfered edges, and you've got a textured plastic soft touch back which is removable, so it does give you access to additional features which we'll be talking about a little bit later. Now in my opinion, this is really nice because it gives you a solid and premium feel because of that metal frame, but that soft touch back gives you a lot more grip than you would do on a full metal device. Now this is going to come down to personal preference, but I would say both of these have very, very nice builds. Now moving on to the internals, the iPhone 6 Plus has a dual-core 1.4 GHz processor, and then it's the Apple A8 64-bit chip with 1GB of RAM. The Samsung Galaxy Note 4 has a quad-core 2.7 GHz processor, which is the Qualcomm Snapdragon 805, and it's got 3GB of RAM. There is also an octa-core version available for certain markets. Now speed-wise, both of these were super fast without any issues. Now I have done a side-by-side speed comparison between these two devices, so you can go ahead and check that out on the channel. But generally speaking, both were very fast. Some tests the Note 4 was faster at, and some the iPhone 6 Plus was faster at. I don't think you're going to have any issues in terms of speed on these devices. Now looking at the memory options, the iPhone 6 Plus has the 16, 64 and 128GB versions. Samsung Galaxy Note 4, you only have the 32GB version. They've not mentioned any other version, so at this point in time it is just 32GB version, so you do have more options with the iPhone 6 Plus at different prices obviously. But with the Note 4 you do have expandable storage, so you've got a micro SD card slot which supports up to 128GB of expansion. Now this is absolutely awesome because with the Note 4 on a 128GB micro SD card, which you can pick up for not so much, you'll be getting more storage than the largest version of the iPhone 6 Plus. Now moving on to the cameras, so the rear-facing cameras, you've got an 8MP rear-facing camera on the iPhone 6 Plus. The Note 4 has a 16MP rear-facing camera. Now the key thing here on both devices is that you've now got optical image stabilization, which is absolutely great and really helps get you some nice stable footage. Now in terms of results, I have done a full side-by-side comparison on the channel between these two, so you should go ahead and check that out because that will give you a more in-depth look at both of these and let you decide which one is better. Overall, I think both of these take absolutely great video and images. The Note 4 does get the edge in terms of resolution, in terms of images as well as video, because you can film up to 4K, but the iPhone 6 Plus does get the edge in terms of slow motion because you've got 720p up to 240 frames a second, so you can get some great slow motion. The Note 4 does have slow motion, but it's only 720p at 120 frames a second. In terms of the front-facing cameras, you've got a 1.2 megapixel front-facing camera on the iPhone 6 Plus, and the Note 4 has a 3.7 megapixel front-facing camera. So you do have a better resolution on the Note 4. In terms of results, once again, do go ahead and check out that video. Now, the Note 4 does have the advantage here in terms of resolution, and it's also very wide, so it'll be really useful for your group selfies. But the iPhone 6 Plus did produce some great results. I actually preferred it sometimes because it did produce some sharper results compared to the Note 4. Once again, this is going to come down to your personal preference. Now, moving on to the operating systems, now it's Android versus iOS once again. So the Note 4 has Android KitKat 4.4.4, and it will be getting the Lollipop update soon. And you also have the TouchWiz skin on top of Android. With the iPhone 6 Plus, you've got iOS 8.1. And it is going to be getting the updates directly from Apple, so you're not going to have to wait around for a third party like you are going to have to do with the Samsung Galaxy Note 4. So this is a slight advantage that the iPhone 6 Plus has. Now, in terms of which one is better, it is going to come down to your personal preference. I've said this many times. iOS is generally considered a little bit more simple and straightforward, whereas Android gives you a lot more customization. Now, there's an emphasis on health on both of these devices. So you've got built-in health apps, which are going to help you count your steps, your calories burnt, and things like that. And both manufacturers have also tried to make it a little bit easier to use with one hand. So with the iPhone 6 Plus, if you tap the home button twice, this is going to bring down everything to be able to make you reach those corners a little bit more easily. With the Samsung Galaxy Note 4, you can swipe from the side when the option is turned on, and it's going to shrink the screen down. So once again, you can easily reach those corners with one hand. Now, in terms of utilizing that larger screen, I have to give the edge here to the Note 4, because with the iPhone 6 Plus, you do have landscape mode, which is going to put everything in landscape, and for certain apps, it is going to split the screen. So for example, in your email app, but generally speaking, everything is just a larger version of what you usually find. There isn't a huge deal to take advantage of that larger screen. With the Samsung Galaxy Note 4, because they've had the Note series for quite some time, Samsung have developed lots of features which are really useful. For example, multi-window, so you can have two apps open at the same time. So for instance, you could be watching a video and browsing the internet, and you've also got pop-up windows, so you can just drag down unsupported apps, and you can have plenty of these open at the same time, and this really takes advantage of the extra RAM that you have available here. Touching on some of the additional hardware features that both of these devices offer, firstly, you've got a fingerprint scanner on both home buttons of these devices. The iPhone 6 Plus has Touch ID. Now, this has been very, very popular, and I'm a huge fan of it. You can unlock the device with just a touch, and it's very, very quick and easy to do. You can do it in any angle, and it works really, really well. With the Samsung Galaxy Note 4, you do have to swipe, so this is similar to the Samsung Galaxy S5. It is improved, but you still do have to swipe, which can sometimes be hit or miss. So I would definitely give the edge here to the iPhone 6 Plus, because Touch ID is miles better, and it's definitely the best fingerprint ID technology on any smartphone out there at the moment. Now, with the Note 4, they have added an IR blaster, so you can control your television and things. There's also a built-in heart rate sensor at the back of the device, which is going to let you measure your heart rate for your health apps. This is something you may or may not use. I did not find myself using this. They've also got the S Pen, so this is a unique feature that other devices don't offer. Now, I didn't find myself using this too much, but it is quite useful, and you've got some advanced features such as action memo, so you can quickly jot down some notes, and it's going to convert that into actionable text. So for example, if you were to note down a number, you can then dial that. You've also got screen write, which is going to allow you to take a screenshot and doodle over it. And the feature that I like the most is to be able to use the S Pen as you would do a mouse. So for example, when you're in the gallery, you can multiple select just by clicking and dragging. This is something that you can't do with many of the devices. Now, moving on to the batteries, both of these have very large batteries. The iPhone 6 Plus has a 2915 mAh battery. The Samsung Galaxy Note 4 has a 3220 mAh battery. Now, the Note 4 battery is removable, whereas the iPhone 6 Plus battery is fixed. So you can carry around a spare for the Note 4 if needed, which does give it an advantage. In terms of usage, both of these were absolutely great. You should have no problems, even with heavy use, getting through the full day, and some light users may also get 2 days. Both of these get a thumbs up from me in terms of the battery life. In terms of charging, however, the Note 4 definitely gets the advantage here, because you've got fast charging, so you can go from 0 to 50% in roughly about 30 minutes. Now, I did test this, so I timed it for 30 minutes, and I got roughly about a 47% charge, which is really, really good. With the iPhone 6 Plus, the charger that comes out of the box, it actually takes up to 3 hours to fully charge the device, which was really, really bad. Now, you can speed this process up by using an iPad charger, but in terms of the charger that comes out of the box, this is quite disappointing, and you do have to wait for a very, very long time. I do think Apple should have included the fast charger with their device. Having to wait 3 hours to fully charge a device is really not acceptable in 2014. Now finally, looking at the price, the iPhone 6 Plus for the base 16GB model, you're looking at roughly about £619 here in the UK or $749 in the US. The Note 4, the 32GB version, you're looking at roughly between £600 to £650 here in the UK, around about $800 in the US. Now this is SIM-free off-contract prices, just to give you a bit of an idea in terms of the difference in value between both of these. They are coming in quite similar. Now with the storage versions of the iPhone 6 Plus, you are going to have to pay quite a bit more compared to getting a micro SD card on the Samsung Galaxy Note 4. So there we have it, the Samsung Galaxy Note 4 versus the iPhone 6 Plus. Now overall, I've enjoyed using both of these devices. And I do think it's going to come down to your personal preference, which device is better for you. If you're more from the Apple ecosystem and you like some of the Apple features that the iPhone 6 Plus offers, such as Touch ID, and also that stock Apple experience where you're going to be getting updates straight away directly from Apple, then the iPhone 6 Plus is going to be a great option for you. But if you're somebody that's more on the Android side, doesn't mind TouchWiz and appreciates the additional features that you've got on TouchWiz, which utilize the larger screen, then the Samsung Galaxy Note 4 is going to be a great option for you. Which do you like better? Do drop me a comment below and let me know your thoughts. I hope you enjoyed this video and found it useful. If you did, then please do hit that thumbs up button for me. It really does help me out. And why not subscribe to the channel? I've got plenty more content coming up on here. Thanks for watching. This is Saf on SuperSaf TV, and I'll see you next time. If you want to see more regular videos like this one, then be sure to hit the subscribe button, which will be below. If you're on a mobile device, it may be somewhere else. If you want to see my previous related video, then hit the link right here. If you want to stay in touch over Facebook, Twitter, and Google+, then all of the addresses will be there somewhere, as well as direct links in the description below. Okay, if you're still watching, then that means you've not done one of those things, so, you know. Yeah. Anyway, I'm just gonna go downstairs. See. Okay. There isn't really a downstairs. Anyway, so yeah.